a wonderful, wonderful game. Hey. Stupid thing. It lagged on me and I was like, hey, I let go. Why are you still pressing on the screen? So yeah. I know that Dungeons & Dragons, of course, makes use of, especially the Critical Role cast, specifically. The Critical Role cast makes use of their donation drives that they do with the donations. And I would love to donate money to the poor. However, currently I am the poor, so if you want to support me on Patreon, this is a great opportunity to help the poor, me, and provide me with useful money that I can spend on improving my hardware so that I'm capable of providing quality content that everyone can enjoy. Hopefully. Hopefully you enjoy it. Otherwise, why are you giving me money again? Not that I'm complaining about you giving me money. Please do give me money. I mean, if you're going to give me money, then please give me money. If you're not going to give me money, welcome to the channel. I make YouTube videos. And sometimes I'm even witty, funny, and I tell jokes. I also like to talk to the camera, despite the fact that I have 2 viewers, I think. I think that's what it was at. Let's see, should I eat the chicken, which can't be composted, or should I eat the carrots, which can? Choices. There we go. I have been thinking about turning on the Show Touch on my phone again. The Show Touch feature, of course, being great for keeping track of where I'm touching, because I know it's not always exactly apparent when I'm in the menus where I'm looking at, where I'm touching, all of the different features and whatnot. Oh my, that is a lot of cooked chicken. I am going to need to do something about these eggs. Or about these feathers. And the eggs. About the whole setup, really. Just the whole thing. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But first, I should put away this dirt. Because dirt. It's everywhere. Really is. Okay. And I need to put, let's see, what was it? I need to put that there, that there. I think I'm good on everything else, right? Oh, I could use some logs because I need more planks. And twigs. I need more sticks. So I'll finish making those. Make a bunch of these. And then more sticks. planks. Now I can put the logs back. So that's why I store all that in there, is because it really does keep it safe while I'm out just adventuring. I'm out getting myself all shot up, blown up, and damaged and stuff, and instead I'm capable of just safely and securely storing all of my valuable loot back at the base while I'm out here toiling away, forgetting that I needed to make more shovels. Boy. Because I am going to end up needing to take out that hill, probably that hill as well. So that's going to just require a lot more pickaxes. But I'm also going to need to take out this hill, which is going to take a lot of shovels. A lot of shovels. But it will give me nicer access to the beach down there, because I'm probably going to take out this hill, and I'm probably going to turn this hill into an arch. That way I can make my snow farm up there. I will want to use the vines to access it. So that's going to definitely be something that I need to look into. I'll need to harvest the vines. I'll need to pick out where I want the ceiling to begin or end in some cases, depending on where you're looking at it from. Okay. So yeah. Suppose I should light up the area that I just dug out, because all of that is very, very spawnable. It becomes very apparent at nighttime, because this place starts becoming deadly. So I'm going to start filling in all of these spawning spaces with torches so that they don't spawn anything. I'll of course go over it later and fill in dirt and stuff so that it looks nice. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna measure out all of these different. Actually, here's the easy way. Excuse me. Yep. Oops. Boop, 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 boop. Oops. And now for the next stack of torches. I've been collecting all of these torches that I had left all over the place, and now I've got all these torches and no use for them because I picked them all up. Well, now I've got a use for them. Oops. You know, I was terraforming the place, and so the torches were in the way, and so I removed the torches, and now the torches aren't in the way. And now the monsters can spawn freely, and that wasn't part of the contract. So I'm making sure to fix up all of the torches, you know? Making sure they're all properly spaced out, making sure they're properly staggered in their placement. So that I'm not just over spamming torches. Basically placing one every other block. So there's 3 in between each torch. 1 every 4 blocks, basically. The 5th block, of course, being another torch. So yeah, I've just got a lot on my mind, and I'm just sitting here going through and organizing everything I'm thinking about, and it's just a lot to process. So yeah, let's see. But yeah, like the old MMOs seem to know what they were doing, and these newer MMOs, they don't really seem to know how to build a game. They just don't seem to get it correct. You know? Like, they're trying, don't get me wrong. The MMOs are trying to get it correct, but they're not working. They're not functioning correctly. Somehow they managed to get everything wrong in their quest to try and get everything right. Not really sure how that one worked out, but I don't think it's working for them. Mostly because of the fact that their player base is entirely composed of people who have no idea what they're doing. So, like, that was one thing that I noticed with Final Fantasy XI when they introduced the level sync feature, is the people suddenly had a few IQ points less when it came to anything of the more advanced methods of leveling up. Because they simply had no idea that these other places existed. And it's like, well, how can you be a higher level than me and yet not know that this place exists? Oh, well, I leveled up in Valkyrie Dunes until I hit this level. Yeah, we had a power leveler. They paid for their services to just come by and level us up, which is, of course, actually pretty common, and as far as I know, mostly game legal. Like, theoretically, that's just paying for your time. If you want to stand there and spend time casting cure wounds on them because for whatever reason they paid you money, I think that was allowed. You just couldn't trade it for in-game content. Slight legal loophole. Health doesn't count as content somehow. I don't know. It was a slippery slope, and all I know is I never personally paid for power leveling. I've been in groups where they had someone who was casting healing spells on the party, and sometimes they were very high level, usually high enough to cast a resurrection spell if needed. And that was actually great. That was funding the in-game economy, because people were actually requesting gold for it, or gil, or whatever they used for currency at the time. Some people had more personal requests. For example, maybe they wanted a certain item or armor or something. And so they'd be like, okay, well, if you give me this, I'll like come out there and I'll heal your party for you. And they were like, yeah, sure. How do you find it? Oh, that, and that. Yeah, I got plenty of those. You know, here you go. And they'd come on out and heal the party. No cash on delivery. Like, the economy of Final Fantasy XI was very well balanced for the server that I was on. I forget if I was on Shiva or Ragnarok server, but it was a pretty great server. Oh, this is just... Ugh. I gotta deal with a baby zombie attacking me while I got a skeleton shooting at me. Every time I swing the sword, I drop the shield in order to, well, swing. So I had to drop the shield to swing at the zombie and then immediately get shot because the skeleton was waiting for me to drop my guard. Go figure. Okay. So I got that all cleared out. Let's give this some light. That way it's not just constantly spawning monsters. Yeah, like that. Hello, Mr. Zombie Villager person. Ah, yes. The lag hit. Where you hit me at a distance because lag. Ah! Yeah. Ah! You're doomed now. The skeleton shot the zombie, and so the zombie was like, oh, no, you didn't. And just started wrecking the skeleton. And then I came along and stole the kill. Oh my god, another zombie villager. Okay. Hopefully that's enough of them for them to stop trying to murder me from that hilltop. Probably not. Probably nowhere near enough of them handled since they spawn endlessly. I'm just trying to make sure there's no like dark spots like right there. Like as I fill it in, it will improve. However, we don't need to have it vastly improve just yet. For now, we just need functioning. Yeah. If it doesn't function, then there's really nothing to improve. I mean, that's kind of simple basics, really. That's just how things function. It's like when my dad was having computers showed to him in the early stages of technology, and my dad told his friend, you know, computers will never catch on. There's no good apps, you know? You gotta have a good thing, a good game to play or something. There's no real good way to enjoy this. He thought it wouldn't catch on. And then another one of his friends, or maybe the same friend, showed him compact discs. And he thought, well, now this is a game changer. And he realized, like, those two things together might be able to be enough for computers to be a thing long term. Might not. And so far, computers are very long term. So far. Ow. Is that something shooting me? Apparently. Oh, yep, up there on the hill. Gotta scratch my elbow. So, I'm just gonna see what happens if I ignore him. Does not seem to be working on making him go away, which I expected. Ow. It did, however, allow me the opportunity to finish putting down all of the torches. And now I have the opportunity of luring him over to this cliff. Whereupon I just beat him up with that sword over and over until he died. And that worked too. He shot a lot of arrows at me. It was very rude. How wooed. A lot of people might not like Jar Jar Binks because of the reason Jar Jar was made the way Jar Jar was. I personally find Jar Jar to be quite the charming character. I found the portrayal to be quite, I believe the word is affable. So yeah, a lot of content goes into making MMO games. A lot of quality testing, of course. Gotta have quality assurance. Because if your content isn't quality, then you of course won't get very many customers. You won't get very many clients. Like you might get some, but the real numbers is really large scale type business. So if you're going for the logistics end of things, then you might want to run more PR, more ads, but you also need to factor in the commercial interaction. You need to factor in how will it affect the various interactive branches of the commerce. Because if it affects the commerce negatively, then obviously you really don't want to be using it. You know? Speaking of use, I think I'm going to start making use of this bow. For some reason my toe itches. I want to put away the rotten flesh, of course. And the bone, probably. The gunpowder. I'm up to 15 gunpowder now. I'm doing well. Yep. And let's see, if I put these in here, oh, it gets rid of the enchantment. So I need the anvil if I want to keep the enchantment. That's kind of a bummer. Still, I'm definitely keeping the enchantment on this bow because that is a powerful, powerful enchantment. Like, it might not look all that powerful at first, if you don't know what you're looking for in your ranged weaponry. But it is, in fact, a very, very potent enchantment. The punch enchantment is for knockback. So you'll be able to, well, knock the enemies back. This, of course, is useful for if you want to send them flying off cliffs or just general mayhem, really. Sending enemies off cliffs is always good fun. But, like, there's plenty more you can do with it that is more than just sending people off of a cliff. Oops. So yeah, like upgrading the crossbow, for example, will provide the crossbow with triple shot functionality, I believe it was, and combining that with the fireworks ammunition will definitely generate a lot of damage. Whether or not it's used effectively is another matter altogether. Whether or not you hit, also definitely another matter altogether. Piercing, however, is a good enchantment for getting past enemies who use shields. So illagers, for example, would be sometimes using a shield, I think. And it's also useful against players, player versus player combat, because players will sometimes use shields very frequently. They will use shields, especially in player versus player combat. And this combat is great at teaching how to think tactically. You want to know how to outsmart your opponent, and you want to know how to be prepared for any eventualities that your opponent might be capable of attaining. Your opponent, for example, they might have a shield, so you might want a crossbow that has triple shot and piercing. You know, maybe your opponent brought a bunch of friends. Well, no problem, because you planned ahead enough to grab the triple shot upgrade. So, because you have triple shot and piercing, the fact that they have shields and friends, so they outnumber you and they have shields to deflect your shots, that's kind of rendered pointless by the fact that you're capable of going through their shielding to them. And as a result, you end up winning the encounter because you had prepared a better scenario than they had anticipated. And through your technological advancements, through your technological superiority, you would win that encounter. However, that is, of course, not always going to be the case. And this looks much better now that it is thoroughly lit with proper cross torch placement and whatnot. The main reason is because I want to be able to have these flowers all over the place. I just like having the flowers. But other than that, it's great for making sure that no monsters spawn. And this actually freed up a lot of torches, despite how many I had to go and retrieve. I ended up gaining about a quarter of a stack because I had a stack of torches when I started clearing out that hill. So I gained torches by clearing out that hill. Now I'm going to lose a lot of torches by clearing out this hill, and more by clearing out this hill. But once I clear out that hill and I have all of these spots lit up, monsters should no longer be spawning down here on these platforms. I have a birch forest right over there, and I'm traveling all the way over there. I could have just traveled over there. But yeah, monsters should be slowing down in their spawning of on these platforms here, because as I light up the place, they will start running out of places where they are capable of spawning. However, until that happens, I can easily expect more spawns, because there will be fewer places for them to spawn at, and as a result, they will have a far more cramped spawning conditions, which of course leads to more monsters. But only temporarily, until I finish spawn proofing everything. In the meantime, however, it should provide plenty of chance to practice the archery that I am going to start practicing on Bedrock Edition, because I need to start making sure that I can take out creepers without them having a chance to blow me up. So I'm going to start trying to shoot them with the bow and arrow more often. I probably will save it for the creepers and not the skeletons and the zombies and all them, because of the fact that otherwise the monsters will more than likely make me run through all my arrows, and then I'll be out of arrows when I need to fight a creeper, and I'll probably forget that it takes like 4 hits to take one out. So I don't really want to forget that it takes 4 hits to take out a creeper with a stone sword. And I don't really want to risk running out of arrows at the wrong time. So I'm going to need more pickaxes. I knew that was going to happen. I need more pickaxes. Okay, well, I suppose I should get more pickaxes then. So yeah, like this crossbow here is very useful if you don't miss. As long as you don't miss, it's very useful, yes. If you do miss, however, good luck. But yeah, like MMOs can do a lot of things right, and MMOs can do a lot of things wrong. So the reason Dungeons and Dragons is so popular is because it allows people to just enjoy being friends and enjoy working together for a common goal. Sometimes you encounter people who you don't like, and sometimes you encounter people who you do like. And usually, if you find someone who you don't like, the usual response is to find a group of people who you do like. And sometimes you need to figure out which of your friends is more toxic and which one is less toxic, which one is trying to help you be better, and which one is, looking out for what is actually in your best interest. Not just what are you most interested in, but what is in your best interest. Who's the one who's telling you that something might not be all that healthy for you? Who's the one who's warning you, hey, maybe you shouldn't be doing something along those lines? Because that's the person that's going to be the lasting friend. That's the person who is going to be there through thick and thin for everything that you need. The other types of people probably won't. There's a high chance that the other types of people probably will just ditch you the first chance they get. Because that's just the type of people they are. How relevant that is to what you're going through currently, that can change, that can vary. And understandably so. Sometimes people are just mean just because people are mean. Other times people are mean for a reason. And when that happens, you just gotta sit down and listen quietly and ask, hey, why did you do that? What was your reason? What did you mean when you said that? See if I can get away with ignoring him. Nope, can't get away with ignoring him. Ha! Called it. I knew he was going to try and shoot me at the last second, and I was just like, no, I'm going to stop swinging. Sure enough, he tried to shoot me, and there was the shield blocking the shot. Ow. That was my fault. I dug the block out that the arrow was resting on, and so the arrow ended up, doing what it does and responded to gravity, and as a result, the arrow ended up landing on me. And so I got hurt because I dug out the block the arrow was sitting on. But yeah, like the various parts that make up a great MMO like Final Fantasy XI are mostly player driven, but at the same time, the best parts usually come from the fact that it is, in fact, a well-made game. Not from the strict censorship, not from the sometimes confusing moderation, which I'm pretty sure at one point involved an AI. Would not surprise me if it did. Pretty sure it did, in fact. I'm going to need to move these. How am I? Like at first I was thinking, oh, I might not need to move those gates. And then it's like, no, yeah, I'm definitely going to need to move these gates because as it currently stands, they're not really defending much. But like the MMO community, depending on which community it is, which brand of MMO is being questioned, they can be sometimes very nice and they can sometimes be very standoffish, we'll call it. And that's phrasing it nicely. I'm talking about for the ones that are toxic, I'm talking specifically about ones such as Ebony Online, Guns of Glory Online, the Kingdom Builders, as they're called. Kingdom building games are extremely, insanely toxic. I don't know how people tolerate it. I don't know how people stand it. I cannot fathom how people manage to be so obscene with each other and so toxic and vitreous. The concepts that I've seen show up alone, I don't know how any game can be considered fun when it has you treating your friends as though they were cattle and treating your enemies as though they were your next meal, which sounds very similar and confusing to some extent because those descriptions are kind of the same. Like I've played a lot of games, so I do have a decent understanding of what works in a game and what doesn't work in a game. Like if people wanted to hire me as a beta tester, yeah, I'd love to be a beta tester, but you know, I kind of would like to get paid for it. So if they're not going to pay for me to be a beta tester, well, I mean, I'll see what I can do. No promises. Because I'm not getting paid, you know? Why would I promise anything if I'm not going to get paid for it? Of course I'm not going to promise anything. There's no money being exchanged. You know? I believe Eddie Murphy put it best when he said that his life as he knew it stopped being fun the moment his wife discovered what the word divorce was. Because all of a sudden she heard about the rule of getting half when you're divorcing, and it's like, I want half, Eddie. It's like, oh my, what did you tell her? What have you done to me? And it was funny, but it raises a good point. It's like, people want what they want, but why do they want it? Why do people want to play MMOs? Why do people want to sit there and either work together or against each other for extended periods of time? And I'll probably go into that more next episode. For now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you check out my About page, you'll see information about my Patreon. If you want to donate money and support me monetarily instead of just watching the video and hitting like and hitting the notification bell so you're informed every time I release new content, then my Patreon would be the best way to support me, money-wise. And if you want to help further the channel, that would be the place to do it, is Patreon, because I don't really have anything else set up. So for now, stay safe, and I hope you enjoyed the video.